Hello, my name is Deb Acker. I'm an intuitive spiritual teacher, healer, and author, including author of the upcoming spiritual poetry book, Profound Words to Awaken Truth Within. And today's talk is meant to get you really thinking about the things that really matter in your life and how you are showing up for those things, for those people in your world. So, as I will start all of these talks, I'm going to initially start this talk with a poem. Um, the poems that I read here are often not going to be found in my book. There's going to be different poems there, but it's to give you a sense, a taste of the flavor of what you're going to find in that book. All of the poems I write are meant to be very accessible to everyone reading them, and they're meant to get you thinking. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to share that poem, and then I'm going to walk you through some awarenesses and really truths that can come from that poem, right? Show you some different ways that you might be able to shift some things in your life, especially in this case, if you're looking to create more presence, and just support you in expanding into your truest and best self in this world. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. The things that really matter. I asked my heart what she wanted, and she told me to only focus on the things that really matter. So I took a walk outside and noticed how the birds like to sing and dive beak first, wing to wing. Then I sat down with my dad and asked him about his life and the experiences that had shaped him, including the challenges he had had. As he shared, I chose to really be with him, to listen, to hold his hand, to show I cared. And as I left, I walked by a stranger and I looked them in the eyes to let them and myself know we weren't in danger. Finally, as I pulled up to my house, the lights were closing on the sky and the stars were making their grand entrance, showing us their why. And instead of going inside and getting ready for bed, I sat in awe, really present, no longer in my head. And it was then that I reflected on the things that really matter. So I want to ask you here to just take that in, right? Like, what's present for you in hearing that poem, right? What comes up for you? And how in your world can you start to bring more presence into your life, right? More presence with your loved ones, more presence in doing the things that you really, really love, the things that we are meant to do. How can this start to shift for you? So I'm going to go ahead and share just some new awarenesses and some ways for that to possibly happen. And then I encourage you to journal about this, right? And actually to take action in your life if this resonates for you to shift some things. So much of the time we can have these habitual routines in our day that take us out of presence and really take us out of the things that really matter. So even if we're spending time with a loved one, right, we're sort of on to the next thing, or, we're, in our to-do or in our agenda, right, not actually being with that person, right? And this poem that I shared is really about centering this within you, right? Centering in that presence within you. But notice, how are you relating to your world? How are you relating to the things and the activities and the pieces you do in your life? And how are you relating to your loved ones and your friends and your family? And some of the questions you can journal about are, what are some of the regular activities and tasks that you do that maybe you take for granted, right? Or have lost meaning for you, because you do them often. So again, I'll repeat that question. What are some of the regular activities and tasks that you do that maybe you're taking for granted, or that they have lost meaning for you because you do them so often? And maybe as part of this, it's time with your children, a spouse or a partner, or even a parent. Maybe it's when you go outside, right? But you're missing all of the beauty and all of the incredibleness that's around us when we're outside. Maybe it's a hobby or something that you do on the side or even for work, right? But you're not really taking in the parts that you really enjoy or taking in the fun of it if it's a hobby, right? Like, are you taking in that fun, that deliciousness that can be in every single experience that we have? And with this, can you bring more presence to this, right? Can you bring more gratitude to these moments? And can you bring more life, more aliveness to these? And also, can you bring more joy to it? And as part of that, so in all of these videos, we're going to just do a quick clearing on some of the energies that might be blocking you from experiencing this, right? So I believe that these energies, these emotions, these feelings, they get stored in our body often from childhood. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them to consciousness. And we're going to intend and you're going to see them leaving your body. So, any versions of where in your day you're rushing, you're not present, you're not in the moment, you're not in joy, and you're not savoring and really cherishing the moment. Just all versions of this, just exhaling that out of your body. And you might notice that it feels like it gets a little bit lighter. No worries if you feel that or you notice that or not, but that's just a shift that's occurring, right? You're shifting your vibration and moving into a higher state of being, which not only is going to help you to feel better, but it's going to help you to create more of what you want and more presence in your life. And then anywhere with that too, where you're just sort of, you're relating to the moment, right, is about just getting it over with, right? On to the next thing. So you're getting, you're wanting to go on to the next thing. And you're maybe even in the next thing while you're in the thing that you're doing. So any versions of where you're not actually present. Again, just exhaling that out of your body. And we're going to fill with presence, with light, with truth, with love for yourself, right? With love for others. Because when we really love ourselves, we're in the moment, right? We're present, we're with them. We're not on to the next thing, we're not running our to-do list in our head, none of that. So anywhere where you find yourself doing that right now, again, just exhaling that out. And again, just breathing in truth, breathing in light, breathing in love. And the second piece of this, and I'm going to have you do this in a lot of the talks that I share, but the second piece of this is just connecting to your inner child about this. So we connect with our inner child. So our inner child is that person within us that had like joy and excitement and, had all this joy within them. And maybe also had some really hard experiences in childhood, right? So just notice if that feels true for you. And we're just going to close our eyes and just take a big, deep breath into your body. And then exhaling out. One more time, just taking a nice, big, deep breath into your body. And then exhaling out. And you may want to place your hand on your heart, but just starting to sense them, starting to feel them. And initially, when we're doing this work, often they can be invisible to us where we don't see them. Or often, sometimes they're mad at us because we haven't had a relationship with them. And anyone we wouldn't have a relationship with, right? If they want to be in relationship with us, would be mad if we weren't talking to them, right? And so I would encourage you just to keep doing this as a practice, letting them know you're going to be there for them if this is new for you and that feels true for you. And just to kind of stay with it. Because the more you stay with yourself, you're not abandoning yourself. The less you abandon yourself, the less others are going to abandon you as well. And the more safe, the safer you're going to feel with yourself, life's going to be easier. You're going to feel more loved and taken care of, and you're going to feel whole from the inside out, right? Which is a big task. It's a big ask, but it is possible the more and more we stay with ourselves. So in this moment, connecting with your inner child, and we can ask them the question, in regards to this poem, what are they scared is going to happen if they actually slow down and got present? If they stop sort of needing to rush or always having a full to-do list? What are they scared is going to happen? And maybe something comes up for them like, I'm scared I'm going to miss out, right? I'm not going to get done what I want to. Life's not going to work for me. I'm going to get behind. Or even the feeling like I'm running out of time. So just notice whatever comes up for them. And whatever it is, I want you to say this out loud with the idea that as you say it, the words are leaving you. The energy is leaving you. So it's not about cementing this in. It's not about getting caught in the energy, but the words are leaving you. So you say this with the idea that it's leaving you. And you just say it until it holds no energy, it holds no charge, until you feel no need to say it any longer. And if there's anything else that comes up for you and for your inner child around, what they're scared is going to happen if they actually slow down, if they actually get present, again, you follow the same process where you say in real time, I'm scared I'm going to miss out. I'm scared life's not going to work for me. I'm scared life is not going to work for me. I am scared life's not going to work for me. So, whatever's true in that case, you're just going to say that out loud. And then with this, just exhaling out of your body anywhere where you feel like you don't have enough time, you don't have plenty of time to do all the things that you want to do in your day, in your life, in your world, right? We're going to just exhale that out. And in addition to starting to shift this in this ways and starting to heal these pieces and clear the pieces that are blocking you, I want to give you a practice that you can put in place to complete today's talk and today's video. And that practice is this. As you go into your day, I want to invite you to slow down, to take some really deep breaths into your body, right? So, and to really, really breathe. And with this, with each activity, get present with that activity, with that person, to who's around you and how you want to show up in that moment. Whether you're rushing or you're not rushing, like if you have to be somewhere for an hour or two, that's not going to change the outcome. It is going to change the quality of how you feel in that moment, but it's not going to change the outcome. So you can slow down, and you may even find in the slowing down, and we hear this all the time with meditation, right? It actually creates more time in our day. So you can allow yourself just to slow down. And again, just getting present to who and what's around you. And then with this, could you really begin to savor each moment? So savor the time with you have with your loved ones, right? To savor the activity and to really find joy in it and infuse joy in it, right? So it's like, I'm out in nature and it's like, oh my gosh, I can take a second and I can notice the birds, right? I can breathe in the air. I can notice the trees around me. I'm with my grandpa and I can sit down with him and I can have a conversation and I can ask him how he is, knowing that whether I'm rushing or whether, I get impatient with him, that's not the only thing that's going to change is the quality of our relating in that moment. It is not actually going to change whether I'm staying and sitting with him or not. And hey, here's the thing, give yourself grace. If there's a day you have planned that you're going to go see a loved one and you feel rushed, maybe the way that you create space in your day is you don't go. You say, no, this is not right for me today. And that's also extremely loving and extremely generous for you. So that is today's talk. I invite you to comment below with questions, with clarification, with how the poem and or this talk impacted you, right? And also, I invite you, if this is speaking to you and you really want to do the work that will change your life, I put together a course called the Painful Relationships Healing Course. While this is about healing all of your relationships to create amazing relationships in your life, the first relationship you have to heal is the one with yourself. You want to change other relationships in your life, you have to heal the relationship with self. And so this course dives into the hardcore things that need to be shifted, that need to be healed, that need to be changed to really see a long-term shift in your life. So much of the time we get into meditation practices, we get into yoga practices. I mean, we do all these practices that are really wonderful and they help us to feel better, but they often help us to feel better only temporarily. And then we keep seeing the same patterns over and over. Now, that could take 6 months, it could take a year. But if you're finding yourself sort of kind of falling into a loop and you feel like you're doing work on yourself, but you're falling into this loop over and over and over again, where you keep having pain, more pain showing up, it's likely because there's an opportunity for you to go deeper. This course is what is needed to go deeper to really see a long term and permanent shift. And as part of this course, and you can find more information about that on the link below, but just as part of this course, some of the things that are covered are really identifying and healing your patterns, um, working with the inner child, forgiveness work, feeling your feelings, really, and how to speak and really share your truth in a way that someone else can receive that. So, again, you can find more information about that below, but just want to really, really thank you again for being here. I'm so grateful. I'm so excited to be sharing these poems with you and just to be sharing, this new journey and adventure with you. And until next time, just wishing you well and just wishing you everything you desire in this life. Thank you. This poem was written by Deb Acker and is copyrighted.